Good afternoon. My name is Kameshwar Pula, and I have the high privilege of serving as marshal for these festive proceedings. As you can see here, Berkeley engineers are the best in the world. And we are all delighted to have you here to share their special day. I'm happy to announce that today's ceremony is being broadcast live on the World Wide Web. If anybody here would like to share the web address with family and friends, text them. It is coe.berkeley.edu/begrad. To everyone who is already tuned in, welcome. To begin our ceremony today, we have invited Noteworthy to lead us in singing the national anthem. This ensemble is part of the rich tradition of a cappella music at Cal. They sing many original compositions and have performed at San Francisco City Hall, University House, and elsewhere on campus. I invite you all to stand while Noteworthy sings the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Welcome to the 142nd annual commencement of Berkeley's College of Engineering. Today, we have more than 1,100 graduates, a much larger group than the 12 students who graduated 142 years ago. Some of those students still serve on our faculty. Out of respect for all of our illustrious graduates, I please ask that everyone stay for the entire program. To offer the first of what will be many heartfelt congratulations to our graduates, I'm delighted to present Shankar Shastri, Dean of the College of Engineering. Please welcome Dean Shastri.
Good afternoon. This is really my favorite day of the entire academic year. I know I speak for all my faculty colleagues in saying how privileged we feel to have played a role in preparing you for this day. We've asked a lot of you, and you have stood up to the task. We are proud to send you off into the world as graduates of the #1 engineering school in the world. This day belongs to our graduates. It also belongs to the families who are with us here today. And we congratulate you for supporting the success of our students. You have contributed a lot: money, care packages, and most of all, your love and encouragement. Thank you. Now, I want to give our graduates one last assignment. As you head off to careers or further education, I ask you to answer the call of the citizen engineer. I want you to use your engineering talents to create better living conditions, greater prosperity, and a healthier planet for all of us. Miracles happen every day. Some of you saw at the Berkeley convocation this morning, Hamid Kazaruni and his students enable a paralyzed student to use an exoskeleton to walk across the stage. Remember, you too can make those miracles happen. Wherever you go, remember that you will always be a Berkeley engineer. Take your responsibilities seriously, stay in touch, and go Bears! I'm now pleased to introduce two students who have been given the honor of speaking on behalf of the class of 2011. By the way, this is the first time that we'll have actually two students representing the class. We will hear first from Christopher Ategeka and then from Illinois. Let me first introduce Christopher Ategeka. Christopher Ategeka is from Uganda. By the age of 7, he lost both parents and was caring for 5 younger siblings. An international relief organization steered him towards school, where he excelled. In 2006, Chris came to Oakland to live with a host family and attend community college. He joined Berkeley as a transfer student and graduates today with a BS in mechanical engineering. He is a 2011 recipient of the prestigious Strauch Baccalaureate Prize, which enables seniors to undertake a special project after graduation. Chris will use the prize to teach Ugandans how to build bicycles, and then he will return to Berkeley for graduate school. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Ategeka.
Wow. Thank you, Dean Sastry. Thank you, my parents. And thank you, the amazing professors of the College of Engineering. Welcome and congratulations to the class of 2011. When I think about Cal engineering experience and its transformative effect, the following comes to mind. Long nights filled with a lot of frustration, aspiration, and inspiration. And when things finally work out, it brings a lot of satisfaction. Most of us remember those long nights while staring at a computer, and every time you click the run button, freaking MATLAB gives you an error message for the gazillionth time. Now we are moments away from graduating. I don't know about you, but I'm juiced. I'm pumped. Hell yeah. As mentioned earlier, my name is Christopher Ategeka. I was born and raised in a small thatched house in a remote village in western Uganda. No running water, no electricity, no paved roads. My parents divorced when I was 9 months old. I was raised by a grandmother who is deaf-mute. At age 7, my grandmother became ill, and I joined my father, my stepmother, and 5 siblings in a one-room thatched house. Not long after I moved in, I was told that my mother, who I never really had a chance to know, had passed away of AIDS in a distant village. Not long after she died, my dad also got swallowed by the same monster, HIV/AIDS. My stepmother took her children and went to her parents in a village far away. I was abandoned to the landlord. He hired a large family to support, and adding on an extra head was the last thing he had on his mind. He located my aunt, Violet, who owned a bar, and she took me in. But life with her became intolerable because of overwhelming presence of alcohol and prostitution. I soon left and moved in with my neighbor, who enrolled me into a school. Even that luxury was short-lived. At this point, what robbed me of that luxury, and basically my whole childhood was taken away, is a whole book on its own. And I don't have much room for it on this script. And one thing I can tell you for sure is that it's a story that I will always live to tell. I've witnessed a lot of deaths before I was age 10. Life was on a turbulent roller coaster, moving on a downward spiral until one day something miraculous happened. I encountered my father's good friend who gave me connections to an organization for children orphaned by AIDS. Youth Encouragement Services, also known as Yes Uganda, was run by an American lady named Carol Adams in Fort Portal, a small town in western Uganda. Carol helped me get enrolled in a school where I excelled. I was able to graduate with the highest honors from one of the best high schools in the country, emerging among the best students from my high school exit exam. I am the first person in my family, village, and county to finish high school at that point. Thank you. And throughout my schooling, I kept a close relationship with my sponsors, Michael and Martha Helms. They're somewhere up there. They granted me an opportunity to attend Laney Community College. And in 2009, I graduated with highest honors with associate's degrees in math, physics, and liberal arts. Then I transferred to the great UC Berkeley. Go Bears! Some of you may know, and some of you may not know, that as a transfer student at Cal, it's almost impossible to finish in 2 years. But by taking 21 upper division engineering units the last year, Now, I'm moments away from graduating in exactly 2 years. With no sleep. And I'm proud than ever to be a few seconds away from that great moment, graduating with a Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering. And my hat is off to the brothers who are about to get their Masters and their PhDs from all departments. But from the Mechanical Engineering undergraduate class of 2011, I'm the only African-American student graduating in the class of 2011. I will also be moving on with my master's PhD program in mechanical engineering at the University of California at Berkeley. In addition, I have been working on a startup, and this afternoon I'm really proud and happy to say that I have been chosen to be the recipient for the Judith Lee Strauch grant of $25,000 for my project. And Chevron has agreed to match that. Fellow graduates, from my heart and soul, I can testify to you that never say never. Thanks to the College of Engineering for this great honor to share my journey that I call On My Way Here with you all. Every single student today here has a story. I would like to say the graduating class of 2011, you just added a chapter to that story. Go out into the world and shine the golden bear you are, and let nothing hold you back. Thank you. In today's economy, we need to be persistent and resilient more than ever. You may have settled on one career, but let us all understand that times change, and so do attitudes. You should go out into the world with an open mind and be willing to take side roads on the journey called life. In a recent visit to Berkeley, President Bill Clinton said that one of the profound problems in the world that's persistent and has to be met with communitarian response is that the world is entirely too unequal, both between rich and poor countries and within countries. Half the world live on less than $1 a day. And I, for one, I can tell you firsthand because I lived in those conditions. But as engineers, we need to make those statistics change. Bearing in mind that engineers make all kinds of differences in the world. From global warming to water pollution, from clean energy to power systems, and from spacecrafts to artificial limbs. The world relies on us to design, develop, and test the best solutions, because we are among the best of the best. I want to extend my special thanks to those families and classmates who helped all of us get this far. I know each graduate feels the same. So I invite you all to take a moment to think of them with gratitude. I would like to give a quick shout out to my friends, Omar, Danielle, Sadi, Marwan, David, Anwar, Naoki, everyone. Thank you guys for making this college experience enjoyable. Big thanks to Dr. Webb, the president of Laney College, where I transferred from. Thank you for being here this afternoon to celebrate with me. Finally, graduation is a time of enjoying the party and going apart. Please stay in touch with your friends, because I truly believe that your lives will be much, much richer if you maintain your college friendships. I would like to conclude with this quote. Life is like a bicycle. In order to stay balanced, up here, you gotta keep moving. By now, you might have noticed that it's not where we begin in life that matters, but where we are, and most important, where we're going. There are those times when you felt like giving up. I know I did. But you didn't, and kept at it. In a few seconds, you're about to prove that the tassel is indeed worth the hassle. Thank you all. Congratulations, and go Bears!
Thank you, Chris. We're very proud of you. We'll now hear from Alan Joseph Navarette Uy. Alan has been passionate about improving public transportation since he was 5 years old, when his mother would take him to her job by bus and train. He's now one step closer to that goal with his degree in civil and environmental engineering, along with a double minor in music and city and regional planning. Here at Cal, Alan has been a student leader with the Institute of Transportation Engineers Student Chapter, the Theater Rice, and Filipino Cultural Night. He plays piano and violin and has studied Javanese gamelan and traditional Korean drumming. And I think he's taken these degrees from 3 different colleges in his spare time. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Alan Uy.
Thank you, Dean Sastry, for that introduction and wonderful address. And good afternoon to all our dedicated faculty, loving and supportive parents and friends, and most of all, a great afternoon to the stars of the show on this cloudy day of change, UC Berkeley's engineering class of 2011. My name is Alan, and let me first express my gratitude to the Dean and to the College of Engineering for speaking here today. I would also like to thank my friends and family for their faith in me, my community for the support, my study buddies at the MEP, and to my fellow engineers for listening. It truly is an honor and privilege to speak in front of you today. I am a student from the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. And sometimes, all I can think about are stress, pressure, and even the mechanics of failure. After all, 4 years of all-nighters buckling under the unevenly distributed weight of midterms and labs. 4 years of trying to decode what could possibly be wrong with this MATLAB function. 4 years of stressing out over mastering physics and problem sets and wondering how this 3-unit class could be kicking my butt. And 4 years of being pulled in tension by commitments to organizations, internships, and research. But finally, 4 years later, of rigorous training at the best engineering and research institution in the world, we have the raw materials and the solid and stable foundation on which to build our lives, our careers, our world. We are poised for success. And we are just in time. Cal engineers have always been at the front lines of innovation and discovery. But despite all this, we find that in some parts of the world, including here in the United States, we are still using the same resources, the same infrastructure, the same technologies. The world needs us now more than ever, not only to rebuild transportation networks, invest and invent new vaccinations, develop robotics, or to make clean energy more accessible. No. Cal engineers have done that time and time again. We need to get others to join us at the front lines. We are increasingly faced with challenges many engineers 50 years ago never considered. Our environmental footprint, our continued dependency on non-renewable resources, wireless communication technologies, and most of all, our impact on each of the 7 billion people now roaming this fragile earth. The world needs us now more than ever. Hey, bioengineers, can you guys take on this challenge? Nuclear engineers, how about you? Electrical engineers and computer sciences. Mechanical engineers, where are you guys at? Material science engineers. Industrial engineers and operations researchers, can you all handle this? Hey, civil and environmental engineers, you guys ready? The world needs each and every one of you. And from the sound of it, challenge accepted. Engineers are special people. We know most things people don't know. We have special powers. Cal, the #1 public university in the world, gave us these powers. We are armed with knowledge and skills that no one else has, maybe not even engineers from other schools. I'm just kidding. And with that knowledge comes great responsibility. We must inspire others to join our cause. And the only way we can get others to join us is to step up as leaders. Even with all the work we deal with, this may be our most challenging task yet. After all, engineers are often misconceived as socially awkward or isolated. While other students get to tan outside in the hot California sun or go clubbing with friends on a nice Friday night, it's us who find ourselves trapped in Corey, Soda, Davis, Stanley, Hearst Mining, or Echeverry. We engineers innovate and research, but rarely does the public ever see us present our findings before it gets lost in the spin of politics. And in a time when science and facts are under attack, investments on infrastructure and cleaner technologies are being compromised, we must spread what we know to the rest of the world. We must compel others to join us at the front lines. Because no matter how intelligent we are, no matter how much research we've done, no matter how many special powers we have, we cannot pursue the projects we want to see as isolated engineers working deep into the night at our solitary desks. We cannot affect the changes we want to see by ourselves. Wouldn't it be amazing if we saw more engineers in public policy? Our voice would finally resound. We would do things right. Red tape would be replaced with our measuring tape. And wouldn't it be amazing to see more engineers as teachers? If so many of us were inspired by our distinguished engineering professors, imagine how many more people we could reach if we went into high schools, middle schools, maybe even preschools. We could create generations of individuals motivated on solving the problems of the future, of sustaining both humanity and Earth, rippling an inspiration that we started. In 2011, the world demands that we no longer just be engineers. We must also be leaders. What happened at Cal for us shouldn't just stay at Cal. This solid and stable foundation with which we leave here today is not only just for us, it's for the world. Thank you, and best of luck to you all. Go Bears!
Thank you, Alan, and the very best of luck to you. In my opening remarks, I urged today's graduates to take up the cause of the citizen engineer. Our commencement speaker, Roda Strauch, is an outstanding example of what I mean. He combines a deep understanding of technology with a broad appreciation for human values and social responsibility. Roda Strauch is chairman of the Roda Group, a seed-stage venture capital group in Berkeley. He co-founded the firm in 1997 with Dan Miller to provide entrepreneurs with resources and guidance to launch high-technology businesses, especially those coming from Berkeley. Roger was the first CEO and one-time chairman of Ask Jeeves, now Ask.com. Today, his company is the main investor in Solazyme, which is leading the development of renewable biofuels here in the Bay Area. We consider Roger a true builder of the Berkeley campus and the Bay Area community. He serves on the college's own advisory board, as well as the boards for the Mathematical Sciences Research Institute and the Berkeley Repertory Theater. He co-founded the William Saroyan Endowment for Armenian Studies at Berkeley, and here in the college has endowed a faculty chair in electrical engineering and computer sciences. With Dan Miller, he helped establish the Ask Jeeves Planetarium at the Chabot Space and Science Center and the Roda Theater at the Berkeley Rep. In the midst of his many cultural and civic commitments, Roger still wears the colors of a true engineer. He has been a licensed amateur radio operator for more than 40 years, call sign KD6UO. For those of you, that used to be before www addresses. He earned his bachelor's from Cornell and his master's from Stanford. And he holds 2 patents in the area of wireless communications. Let me now invite Roger to deliver today's keynote address for the 142nd College of Engineering Commencement. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Roda Strauch.
Hi. Dean Sastry, distinguished faculty, graduates, family and friends, Let me add to the great congratulations that you all deserve today. Congratulations. The last time a member of my family was in this theater was about 60 years ago. My father had just earned his PhD at Cal, and he took out his best friend for a drink to celebrate. He got tipsy, plastered, and wound up here where I am standing in the middle of the night singing to a theater of empty seats. Well, Dad, in spite of this indiscretion, became a happy college professor and his lifelong buddy, a successful newspaper owner. I'm going to continue to share some personal thoughts with you, a little awkward with thousands of people, but let's give it a whirl. I will tell you a little bit about my life as an engineering grad, full of passion, opportunity, risk, adventure, enriching relationships, and a sense of social responsibility. And I'm going to explain why there may never be a more urgent need for our engineering skills to make the world a better and safer place. Like many of you, I had an early fascination with technology. The notion that one could use science, math, logic, and creativity to design and build things that people use and pay for seems so cool. I liked rockets, shortwave ham radios, and making robots. I was lucky. I basically knew what I wanted to do with my life when I was a teenager. It became apparent that some of my friends were more talented at math and science. It was not easy to accept that I may not be the very, very best at what I love to do. But I observed that engineering was not simply about tough problems and elegant solutions. It is also about the people who take on these challenges. And it is about the needs and desires of customers. I saw a place for myself. I decided I would try to lead talent to meet market and societal needs. I wanted to work with people that are smarter than I am. I wanted to build things people would pay for. I wanted to make a difference in the world. I wanted to travel a lot. So I went on to become an electrical engineering student. In my sophomore probability class, I argued unsuccessfully with a fellow student on a class question. That guy became a close friend. He was indeed a naturally talented student, but not somebody who aspired to be an entrepreneur. I believed that I needed a partner in my dream to start and lead technology companies. So I encouraged Dan to join me on a career path that has become a 35-year adventure together. I enjoy his company, admire his intellect, and I trust in his character. We help each other recover from failures, and we can enjoy and appreciate the occasional triumphs. It was the single best bet of my professional career. Upon our graduation, Dan and I ventured to Los Angeles to work for an aerospace company that builds communication satellites. We had incredible bosses who were generous with their mentorship and an employer founded by the quintessential entrepreneur of his time, Howard Hughes. Hughes Aircraft offered amazing professional opportunities to relatively young and inexperienced engineers. We still count our blessings that we started our careers at a large, top-notch technology company. After several years designing communication systems for commercial and military applications and learning the importance of great teamwork, we were recruited to a startup opportunity here in Berkeley. But a seminal moment in our partnership came on the day before Dan and I were to leave LA. To entice him to stay at his job, Dan was offered a mission specialist position on the space shuttle. In an almost all-night conversation, I begged and pleaded Danny to stay the startup course with me and give up what he called the ride of a lifetime. Fortunately, Dan chose to come to Berkeley. And we started a telecommunication software and services company in partnership with Berkeley professor Dr. Dave Messerschmidt. This was only a few months ahead of the breakup and deregulation of the telecom industry. We had the guidance and support of a great Berkeley business incubator and investor. We realized quickly the importance of sales and marketing in a technology company. Dan and I learned how critical it is to listen rather than talk, and to be flexible in the construction of business relationships. We served a global clientele of telecom companies, building first-generation digital signal processing and network management technologies for our customers to incorporate in their products and services. We took our company public 8 years after its inception. The investors made well over $100 million on a several $100,000 investment. And we enjoyed the ultimate satisfaction as engineers. Our technology was used directly and indirectly by millions of people throughout the world. After this 14-year adventure, we knew how much work was involved in starting and growing a technology company. So instead of starting another one, we decided to help others get theirs going. And the Roda Group, the Roger Dan Group, was born, a seed-stage venture capital business with the financial, human, and infrastructure support to significantly help startups. More than a third, but less than half, of our projects have succeeded. And even though that is a very respectable track record for venture capitalists, we hate the bus and are more relieved with the victories than ecstatic. It does remind me to tell you that our story is indeed characterized by more failure than success. It isn't always apparent because a few significant accomplishments have masked many disappointments. We have taken new enterprises public. We have sold companies to some prestigious corporations. Between the two of us, we have earned millions of frequent traveler miles, personally conducted business in over a dozen countries, and have met and worked with remarkable people, including some who are quite famous. Our partnership has led to the creation of companies worth an aggregate billions of dollars, employing hundreds of engineers and scientists. We have earned sufficient personal wealth to help build a new theater, museum, and school. We support brilliant professors and their research. We help economically disadvantaged students pursue their education and dreams. And in a series of programs in a small and remarkable developing nation halfway across the world, Armenia, we help disabled people become mainstream contributors to their community. Street kids find a safe haven for homework help, and we underwrite young people who create film documentaries about how the global issues affect everyday Armenia. Work that has earned international acclaim. It still amazes and delights me how one can use the fruits of one's labors to make a meaningful, positive difference in other people's lives. What a privilege it is to do so. Frankly, one of the reasons I'm so highly motivated to create more wealth is so that I can expand these philanthropic efforts. As engineers, entrepreneurs, and investors, we are always looking for the next big thing. We were at the beginning of digital telecom, the internet, personal video communications, and we want more such adventures. And we think we have found the next big thing. But before I get to that, I would like to return to the space shuttle story. Now, I have to tell you that the Hughes Aircraft Systems engineer who flew on the shuttle instead of Dan died on the Challenger, along with 6 other talented and brave souls, when it blew up 73 seconds after launch. So naturally, we wanted to understand the causes of that tragedy. The night before the launch, the responsible engineers had advised the top brass to not launch due to the risks of cold weather. And even upon significant pressure from these big shots, the engineers still did not back off their well-founded concerns. Because the engineers could not prove that a disaster would happen, the powers that be decided to overrule their recommendations. The bosses signed off on a go for launch. The Challenger blew up the next morning. We seem to be facing that same type of thinking today, but this time, the stakes are much higher. Climate scientists are telling us that we are altering the atmosphere at an alarming rate. These capable, qualified, peer-reviewed climate scientists say that on our current path, sea levels could rise 6 feet, and the global average temperature could increase 7 degrees Fahrenheit in this century. They predict that starting now, there will be massive floods, droughts, famines, extinctions, and other impacts for which we are not prepared. The recent earthquake and tsunami in Japan, or tornadoes in Alabama, or floods along the Mississippi reminds us that nature operates at a scale awesomely larger than mankind. But while these scientists are highly confident in their predictions, they cannot prove that any particular event will occur. The leaders of our global society are acting like the big brass of that cold, tragic day when the shuttle exploded. Unless it is a clear certainty, they and we do not make the hard decisions to mitigate or avoid a terrible threat and its unbearable consequences. They have decided to launch instead of heeding the advice of those that know what they're talking about. And on board this time, it is our children, our grandchildren, and us. Winston Churchill, in November of 1936, speaking of a previous gathering storm, said, "Owing to past neglect, in the face of the plainest warnings, we have entered upon a period of danger. The era of procrastination, of half measures, of soothing and baffling expedients, of delays, is coming to its close. In its place, we are entering a period of consequences. We cannot avoid this period. We are in it now." Of course, with such enormous threats, there are also great opportunities. Therein lies the next big thing. In the Roda Group's pursuit of technologies that could facilitate the development of sustainable fuels and food, Dan and I were introduced to a small company called Solazyme. Fresh out of a garage, they wanted to use algae, the smallest and most abundant plant on Earth, to produce oil. The work of a visionary biology professor here at Cal, Dr. Tassios Melis, inspired another two close friends, including a biogeneticist from Utah, to look into algae as a source of renewable energy. After a lot of trial and error, Solazyme was able to identify and genetically modify strains of algae that could produce oil efficiently and rapidly for transportation fuel. In addition, they developed processes to manufacture oil for food, soap, lubricants, and even cosmetics. They can design oil to a specification, and they can produce it at scale today. This process requires sugar because it is heterotrophic. In other words, they grow the algae in the dark, in large steel tanks. The sugar can come from non-food sources like wood chips and corn husks. And because the company started 8 years ago, they had plenty of time to make lots of mistakes before the present crowd entered the race. And because Dan and I were operating as much from the fear of the effects of climate change as well as a comfort with high-risk deals, we were able to provide much-needed support to this company when almost no one else would. As much as I would like to harness all of the talent in this stadium to build and sell the low-carbon energy and other sustainable solutions of tomorrow, I know it is not realistic. But I am calling on all of you to learn as much as you can about the climate problem. It is a major psychological and political challenge. We are not responding appropriately to the fact that every major scientific body in the world accepts human-caused climate change as a fact. You and all of us must also get others to understand and do something about the slow-moving, planet-wide climate tsunami that is headed our way. In the last few minutes, I've told you a little of my story and about my sense of our opportunities and our responsibilities. By pursuing engineering, you have made an excellent and exciting investment in yourselves. Your friends and family have also invested in you with their love and resources. The college you are graduating from required over 100 years of investment and commitment to excellence in order to provide you with a world-leading education. And you are well prepared to yield an impressive return on this investment by tackling the tough challenges and solving worthwhile problems. I know you have lofty dreams for your future. I wish you great success and fun in your careers. Every day I pinch myself that I get to do what I do and work with whom I work. I hope you will share with me this passion for work and a sense of duty to act boldly to make a positive difference in this world. It turns out that Dan and I are indeed on the ride of a lifetime. Please join us. Thanks to my family for your love and support, and thank you all for your attention on this glorious, glorious day. Bravo to your families, and go Cal!
Thank you, Roger. Many members of the class of 2011 have been active this year in projects supporting the College of Engineering. To commemorate their graduation, the seniors have given a class gift to the college to benefit their successors for the years to come. Members of the Senior Gift Committee are here today representing their class, Jackie Chirico and Laura Whedon. Moving along a little too quickly, I see. Yes. Jackie Chirico will make the presentation of a check on behalf of the graduating class.
Dean Sastry, on behalf of the entire Berkeley Engineering senior class of 2011, I am honored to present this record-breaking check for $47,892 to the College of Engineering. In total, 354 of my classmates donated to our campaign, more than any other senior class in the history of the college. In addition to thanking the many seniors who gave so generously, I would also like to acknowledge College of Engineering alumnus Bob Sanderson and his wife Shirley for providing the Sanderson matching gift, and members of the UC Berkeley Foundation Board of Trustees for establishing the new Alumni Challenge to inspire us to give through our 5th reunion. As my fellow seniors and I prepare to enter the workforce or pursue further educational opportunities, we will always remember that our success was made possible by the education we received and the challenges we faced at Berkeley Engineering. So please consider this check an expression of our gratitude for all that Berkeley Engineering has done for us, as well as a statement of our commitment to its future. Thank you to you, Dean Sastry, and to all of our superb faculty and staff members for an incredible 4 years. Good luck to the students who are following in our footsteps, and to all of us as we venture forth. Go Bears!
Let me shake your hand. It's trying to shake their hands. Thank you very much for the senior class gift. And you know, they had a pretty lofty target, so congratulations once again.
We all know what a special day this is, and that many of you will be taking photographs. We ask that you keep the aisles at the sides of the stage clear in consideration for those seated. Commencement is a proud day for the graduates and their families. It's a proud moment for the University of California. The degrees conferred by the university attest to the high scholastic achievement of our students and to fulfill our mission as a university. Today's ceremony recognizes engineers who have earned the degrees of Bachelor's of Arts, Bachelor's of Science, Master of Engineering, Master of Science, Doctor of Engineering, or Doctor of Philosophy. Before the granting of degrees, I want to take a moment to allow all of you graduates to express your appreciation to those loved ones who have provided emotional and financial support of your education. Let's thank your families. What a happy day this must be. No more tuition payments here. Okay. I now invite Dean Shankar Shastri to step forward and grant the doctoral degrees.
The doctoral degree is the highest academic degree awarded by a university on completion of original research, resulting in a major thesis that adds to the knowledge base in a discipline. We are delighted to recognize these candidates for their extraordinary achievement. Will the candidates for the degrees Doctor of Philosophy or Doctor of Engineering please rise? In my authority as Dean of Engineering of the University of California, Berkeley, I grant you the degree Doctor of Philosophy or Doctor of Engineering. Please be seated.
In the time-honored tradition, we will place the hood, signifying the doctoral degree, over the head of each doctoral candidate. The hood's dark blue velvet border signifies the doctoral degree, and its blue and gold satin lining symbolize that the degree was awarded by the University of California. Students will be introduced by the chair of their department or designee. They will come forward and be joined by their faculty advisor, who will present the hood. Please leave your caps on your chairs, as this interferes with the hooding process. We will start with the candidates from the graduate group in Applied Science and Technology, who will be introduced by Professor David Atwood.
The candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Science and Technology are Corin Michael Greaves, and he'll be hooded by his faculty advisor, Professor Roger Falcone. And Ryan Miyakawa, and I will hood him. And Jonathan Nolan, and I will hood him in place of his faculty advisor, Professor John Verbanco. And Benjamin Ross, who will be hooded by his faculty advisor, Professor Luke Lee. Congratulations to all.
The candidates from the Department of Bioengineering will be introduced by Professor Matthew Terrell, Chair of the department.
The candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy in Bioengineering are Teresa Ann Ulrich, hooded by her advisor Sanjay Kumar. Anuj Patel, hooded by his advisor Sanjay Kumar. Gary J. Ray Lee, hooded by his advisor Stephen Connolly. Carl Johan Saldana, hooded by his advisor Sharmila Majumdar. Karsten Temme, whose advisor is Chris Voigt, and I will place the hood.
This is the next group.
Thanks, Randy. Yep. Sharon Chow Wooten, Advisor Joe DeRisi. And I will place the head. Sorry. Jeffrey Howard Wooten, advised by Chris Dietrich, and I will place the hood. Akwazi Apori, advisor Amy Herr, who will place the hood. Javad Golji, hooded by his advisor, Mohammed Mofrad. Elizabeth Schneider, hooded by her advisor, Doug Clark. Gavin Andrew Price, hooded by his advisor, Adam Arkin. Congratulations to all of you.
The candidates from the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering will be introduced by Professor Lisa Alvarez-Cohen, Chair of the department. I ask that the faculty exit to the right.
Good morning. The candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the top-ranked Civil and Environmental Engineering department in the country. Daniel Benjamin Work, and he will be hooded by his advisor, Alex Bayen. Very affectionate group we have here in Civil. Sebastian Blandin, and he will be hooded by Alex Bayen. Don't you love it? Sarab Amin, and he will be hooded by two advisors, Alex Bayen and Shankar Sastry. I wonder if that means a double hug. Thanks. Henry Benjamin Mason. He will be hooded by his advisor, Jonathan Bray. He's a military man. Weihua Gu, who will be hooded by his advisor, Michael Cassidy. Yiguang Zhuan, who will be hooded by Carlos Daganzo and Michael Cassidy. The brother hugs there. Eric Justin Gonzalez, who will be hooded by his advisor, Carlos Daganzo. Gregory Christopher McCloskey, who will be hooded by Stephen Glazer. Bo Zhu, who will be hooded by Mark Hansen. I have to say, I've been to a lot of graduations, but that was the first. Gurkaran Bukshi, who will be hooded by Mark Hansen. Seungwon Cho, who will be hooded by Glenn Ballard. Who will be hooded by Arpad Horvath. Corinne Donahue Scown, who will be hooded by Arpad Horvath. Stephen Michael Gladding, who will be hooded by James Hunt. Paul Kostervang Gross, who will be hooded by James Hunt. Ipsita Banerjee, who will be hooded by Adib Kanafani. Junwei Lai, who will be hooded by Stephen Mayen. You know, you guys should work out whether you're going to hug each other ahead of time. Heyrin Lee, who will be hooded by Khalid Masalam. Nasim Ayubzadeh Mullen, who will be hooded by William Nazaroff. Seema Vijay Banger, who will be hooded by Bill Nazaroff. Michael Benjamin Fisher, who will be hooded by Kara Nelson. Ava Agus, who will be hooded by David Sedlak. Patrick Dennis Ulrich, who will be hooded by David Sedlak. Maureen Allison Downing Kuntz, who will be hooded by Mark Stacy. Ilse Ruiz Mercado, who will be hooded by Joan Walker. Congratulations to all the graduates.
Very touching, emotional moments. Next, the candidates from the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences will be introduced by my good friend, Professor Costas Panos.
Thank you. The candidates of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the best Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences in the world are Teimur Bakishev, who's going to be hooded by his advisor, Vivek Subramanian. Song Yin, who's going to be hooded by the advisor, Vivek Subramanian. Lakshmi Jagannathan Srinath. She's going to be hooded by her advisor, Vivek Subramanian. Hui Yuan Tseng, who's going to be hooded by his advisor, Professor Vivek Subramanian. Yu Ben, who's going to be hooded by his advisor, who happens to be me. Dekong Zheng, who's going to be hooded by myself. Kun Kwan Chian, who is very embarrassing because he is my advisee. And it's about time I learned to pronounce his name. Daniel Jacob Gillick. He's going to be hooded by his advisor, Nelson Morgan.
Here's your next step.
Lara Lynn Stoll, be hooded by her advisor, Nelson Morgan. Howard Lay, be hooded by his advisor, Nelson Morgan. Brian Christopher Cantagiaro, be hooded by his advisor, Kurt Koitscher. Nathan Boyd Kitchen, to be hooded by his advisor, Andreas Kuhlmann. Brian Brady, to be hooded by his advisor, Sanjit Sesha. Galen Reeves, to be hooded by his advisor, Michael Gatzmar. Jining Zhang, to be hooded by her advisor, Michael Gaspar. Hari Paley Noor, to be hooded by his advisor, Anand Sahai. Chango Sa, to be hooded by his advisor, David Se. Ishan Wong, to be hooded by his advisor, David Se. Zia Zhou, to be hooded by his advisor, Edward Lee. Eric Yobing Sin, to be hooded by his advisor, Andrew Neuroider. Amin Arbabian, to be hooded by his advisor, Ali Niknezad. Ji-Hoon Park, to be hooded by his advisor, Bora Nikolic. In ECS, we do things in big scale. I have more to go. Deborio Chowdhury, to be hooded by his advisor, Ali Niknezad. Christian Marku, to be hooded by the advisor, Ali Niknezad. Chulong Lee, to be hooded by the very productive faculty of ours, Professor Niknezad. Michael Mark, to be hooded by Professor Yan Rabai. Zhonder Liu, to be hooded by Professor Yan Rabai. Suning Shah, who has been advised by Professor Alberto San Giovanni Vicentelli, to be hooded by Professor Yan Rabai. Mark Lee Kelvin Jr., who has been advised by Professor San Giovanni Vicentelli and is being hooded by Professor Yan Rabai. And Yang, also advised by Professor San Giovanni Vicentelli, to be hooded by Yan Rabai. Wei Jun Zhao, to be hooded by Professor Yun Song. Bonnie Kirkpatrick, to be hooded by Professor Richard Karp. Adam Garnett Kirk, to be hooded by Professor James O'Brien. Daisy Z. Wong, to be hooded by Professor Michael Franklin. Gilad Arnold, to be hooded by Professor Ratislav Bodik. Andrew Poggio, to be hooded by Professor Jay Singler. Thomas Vidic, to be hooded by Professor Umesh Vazirani. Daniel Cipria Preda, to be hooded by Professor Umesh Vazirani. Chanwei Gu, to be hooded by Professor Jitendra Malik. Yue Zhang, to be hooded by Professor Laurent Ngawi. Professor Malik is doing the hooding. Sensei Gu, who has been advised by Professor Jayajit Rao Chaudhary, is going to be hooded by Professor Claire Tomlin. Gabe Lavella, who has been advised by Michael Maharbis and hooded by Michael Maharbis. William Joseph Holtz, who has been advised by Jay Kisling and Michael Marhabis, and who's going to be hooded by both of them. Megdad Haji Morad, who's been advised by Paul Gray, Jane Kisling, and is going to be hooded by both faculty. R.J. Honicke, advised by Professor Richard Newton and Eric Brewer, to be hooded by Eric Brewer. Lucian Popper, to be hooded by his advisor, Professor Ion Stoica. Gautam Altekar, advised by Ion Stoica and hooded by Ion Stoica. Christopher Chase, advised and hooded by Professor Connie Chang Hasnain. Devang Parekh, advised and hooded by Professor Connie Chang Hasnain. David Carlton, advised and hooded by Professor Jeffrey Bokor. Justin Killer Valley, advised and to be hooded by Professor Ming Wu. Jaemin Park, who's being hooded by his advisor, Professor Chen Min Hu. Kan Hung Jeon is going to be hooded by his advisor, Professor Chen Min Hu. Shi Lo, to be hooded by her advisor, Professor Eli Yablonovich.
Good luck with everything.
Matteo Staffaroni, to be hooded by his advisor, Professor Eli Yablonovich. Kevin Robert Canini, advised by Stuart Russell and Tom Griffiths, to be hooded by Tom Griffiths. Alex Shear, advised by Professor Michael Jordan, to be hooded by Professor Tom Griffiths. Jack Culpepper, to be hooded by his advisor, Bruno Olshausen. Li Wen Hang, to be hooded by her advisor, Clark Nguyen. John Daniel Betancourt, to be hooded by his advisor, Don Song. Chen Lu Ho, to be hooded by his advisor, Amy Hare. Brian Edward Schubert, to be hooded by his advisor, Ron Fearing. Stanley Beck, to be hooded by his advisor, Professor Fearing. And Vincent Wu Ying, to be hooded by his advisor, Seth Sanders. Congratulations to all graduates.
The candidates from the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research will be introduced by Professor Rhonda Ryder, Chair of the department.
The candidates for Doctor of Philosophy in Industrial Engineering and Operations Research are Efrat Bitan, who will be hooded by her advisor, Ken Goldberg. Xingwei Wu, who will be hooded by his advisor, Xin Guo. Next is Mauricio Junca, who will be hooded by his advisor, Xin Guo. And next is William Benjamin Haskell, who will be hooded by Xin Guo. And next is Juan Daphne Chi, who will be hooded by her advisor, Candice Yano. And next is Anthony Papa Vasilio, who will be hooded by his advisor, Shmuel Oren. And finally, Ryan J. Herring, who will be hooded by his advisor, Alex Bayan. Congratulations to all of you.
The candidates from the Department of Materials Science and Engineering will be introduced by Professor Robert Ritchie, Chair of the department.
The candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Materials Science and Engineering are Holly Barth, and she will be hooded by her advisor, which is me. Joseph Lemberg, who will be hooded by his advisor, which is also me. Robert Zekis, who will be hooded by his advisor, Professor Ramesh. Sanyong Kim, who will be hooded by his advisor, also Professor Ramesh. Jodi Iwata, who will be hooded by her advisor, Professor Yuri Suzuki. Virat Mehta, who will be hooded by his advisor, Professor Suzuki. Franklin Wong, who will be hooded by his advisor, Professor Suzuki. Gregory Brown, who will be hooded by his advisor, Junchao Wu. Mark Poking, who will be hooded by his advisors, Professor Paul Alivasatos and Professor Ramesh. Matthew Lowry, who will be hooded by one of his advisors, Professor Andy Minor. The other one is Professor William Morris. Thomas Conry, who will be hooded by his advisor, Professor Luke de Jong. Christopher Bartlow, who will be hooded by his advisor, Professor Andy Glazer. Mary Tranowski, who will be hooded by her advisor, Professor Andy Glazer. Thomas Reynolds, who will be hooded by his advisor, Professor Andy Glazer. Fatima Allen, who will be hooded by her advisor, Professor Gronsky. Alexandra Ford, her advisor is Professor Ali Javi, but she will be hooded by Professor Ron Gronsky. Derek Speaks, who will be hooded by his advisor, Professor Eugene Haller. Julian Guzman, who will be hooded by his advisors, Professor Eugene Haller and Professor Darrell Shan. And last but not least, Matthew Sherburne, who will be hooded by his advisor, Professor Darrell Shan. My congratulations to all the graduates.
Next, we have the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, the best not in the country, not on the planet, but in the known universe, better than Starfleet Academy. Live long and prosper.
Thank you. And we can tell time. Good afternoon. Our first PhD candidate is Teresa Weirei Zhang. Her advisor is Professor David Dornfeld. That's myself, and I will be the hooder. Jessie Rivest. Her advisors are Paul Alvisados and David Dornfeld, and Paul Alvisados will be the hooder. Andrew Cullen Waterbury. His advisor is Professor Paul Wright, but I will hood for Professor Wright. Alec Chen. His advisor is Professor Paul Wright. I will hood for Professor Wright. Timothy Josh Wheeler. His advisor is Professor Andrew Packard, and Professor Packard will be the hooder. Ilan Bitar. His advisors are Professor Kameshwar Pula and Tariq Zodi, and they will co-hood. Michael Toshiro Morimoto. His advisor is Professor Pula. He will be hooded by Professor Pula and Professor Hedrick. Savash Tasolu. His advisor is Professor Andrew Seri, and he will be hooded by Professor Seri. Raul Rai, his advisor is Professor David Bougie. Professor Bougie will put the hood. Sripati Wangipuram Kanchi, his advisor is Professor Bougie, and he will place the hood. Travis Nathan Owens, his advisor is Professor Kostas Grigoropoulos, and he will place the hood. Coleman Xavier Kronewitter, his advisors are Professor Greif and Sam Mao, and they will place the hood. Joseph Patrick Fieser, his advisors are Professor Kostas Grigoropoulos and Rachel Siegelman, and Professor Grigoropoulos will place the hood. Junbin In, his advisor is also Professor Grigoropoulos, and he will place the hood. Sangil Roo, his advisor is Professor Grigoropoulos, and he will place the hood. Professor Grigoropoulos has been very busy. Ho-Jin Jun, his advisor is Professor Grigoropoulos, and he will place the hood. I'm sorry, that's right, that's correct. Okay. Matthew Barham, his advisor is David Steigman. Professor Steigman will place the hood. Ryan Taylor Crone, his advisors are Professor Tarek Zodi and David Steigman, and they will place the hood. Wei Lee, his advisor is Sarah McMains, and she will place the hood. Ardarsh Krishnamurthy, his advisor is Professor McMains, and she will place the hood. Chris McCoy, and his advisor is Professor Albert Pisano. And he will place the hood. You had to be here last year to know what that means. Gabriel Vingenu, advisor of Professor Albert Pisano, and he will place the hood. There's 5 of them, Dave. Keep going. Okay. Ernest Tingta Yen, his advisor is Professor Albert Pisano and Clark Nguyen. Professor Pisano will place the hood. Don't sound disappointed. Christopher William Hogue, his advisor is Professor Albert Pisano. Professor Pisano will place the hood. Naveep Singh Dillon, his advisor is Professor Pisano. Professor Pisano will place the hood. Armin Mahajuran, his advisor is Professor Li Wei Lin. Professor Lin will place the hood. Yingqi Jiang, his advisor is Professor Lin. Professor Lin will place the hood. Ryan Daniel So Cool, pronounced So Cool. His advisor is Li Wei Lin. He will place the hood. Adrian Therese Higa, her advisor is Professor Li Wei Lin. He will place the hood. Daniel Martinez Peters, his advisor is Professor Oliver O'Reilly. Professor O'Reilly will place the hood. Bayram Orazov, his advisor is Oliver O'Reilly, and Professor O'Reilly will place the hood. Volker Soger, his advisor is Professor Zhang Zhang, and he will place the hood. Eric Ulanavila, also advised by Professor Zhang, he will place the hood. Yongshik Park, his advisor is Professor Zhang, and he will place the hood. Brandon Basso, his advisor is Carl Hedrick. Professor Hedrick will place the hood. Jared Gregory Wood, advised by Professor Hedrick. Professor Hedrick will place the hood. Joshua Allen Love, his advisor is Professor Hedrick. Professor Hedrick will place the hood. Giovanna Gonzalez, his advisor is Professor Paul Wright. Richard White, Professor, and Professor Carl Hedrick will place the hood. Daniel Takashi Kawano, his advisor is Professor Fei Ma, and Professor Ma will present the hood. Richard Anthony Conway, advised by Professor Horowitz. Professor Horowitz will place the hood. Jin Bin Nai, his advisor is Professor Horowitz, and he will place the hood. Timothy Swift, his advisor is Professor Kazaruni. Professor Kazaruni will place the hood. Samveg Saxena, advised by Professor Robert Dibble. Professor Dibble will place the hood. Professor Dibble is celebrating 40 years on this campus since his graduation. Vihai Rap, also advised by Professor Dibble. Professor Dibble will place the hood. Sonia Ferez Rappaport, advised by Professor Carlos Fernandez Peyo. Professor Fernandez Peyo will place the hood. Kenneth Miguel Armejo, advised by Professor Van Carey. He will be hooded by Professor Fernandez Peyo. Devin Rodney Yates, advised by Professor Michael Franklock. Professor Franklock will place the hood. Okay. Miriam Kamgarpur, advised by Professor Claire Tomlin. Professor Claire Tomlin will be placing the hood. Kranthi Kiran Mandapu, provided by Professor Panos Papadopoulos. Professor Papadopoulos will place the hood. Chen Chung, provided by Professor Kyriakos Kamvopoulos. Professor Kamvopoulos will place the hood. Si Yin, also advised by Professor Kamvopoulos, and he will place the hood. Huaming Zhu, advised also by Professor Kamvopoulos. Professor Kamvopoulos will place the hood. Junbun Bai, advised by Professor Masayoshi Tamazuka. Professor Tamazuka will place the hood. Feng Dan Dong, also advised by Professor Tamazuka, who will place the hood. Xu In Yu, advised by Professor Tamazuka, who will place the hood. And last but not least, Hode Margaret Stearns, advised by Professor Tamazuka, who will place the hood. Congratulations to all of our mechanical engineering PhD graduates.
The candidates from the Department of Nuclear Engineering will be introduced by Professor Per Peterson, Chair of the Department.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the Department of Nuclear Engineering are Raluca Scarlett. I am her advisor. I will place the hood. Christian Galvez, I am his advisor, and I will place the hood. Jeffrey Edwin Seifried, I am the advisor. I guess I'll place the hood. Michael Robert Laufer, I am the advisor. I'll place the hood. Brett Hallen Eisenhardt, his advisor is Stan Prusen, and I have the pleasure of placing the hood. Christina Joy Leggett, her advisor is Stanley Prusen, and Professor Junhong An will place the hood. And Yong-Duk Kim, Professor Brian D. Worth is his advisor, and Professor Worth will place the hood. Thank you, everyone, and best wishes to our new graduates.
We're proud of this fine group of graduates on this stage. Congratulations to you all. We will now confer the master's degrees. First, Master of Engineering, and then Master of Science. Dean Sastry.
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Engineering please rise? In my authority as Dean of Engineering of the University of California, Berkeley, I grant you the degree Master of Engineering. Please be seated. That's somewhat anticlimactic, isn't it? Will the candidates for the degree Master of Science please rise? This degree is granted to individuals who have completed a course of study demonstrating a mastery or high-level overview of a specific field of engineering. In my authority as Dean of Engineering of the University of California, Berkeley, I grant you the degree Master of Science. Please be seated.
Master of Science and Master of Engineering certificates will be presented by Dean Sankar Shastri. He will be assisted by Masayoshi Tomizuka, the Executive Associate Dean of the College. Again, candidates will be introduced by their department chairs, Please hold your applause until all of the candidates are introduced.
Dean Sastry. Not on it. Dean Sastry. I'd like to present. I don't think it's on, so. Okay. Dean Sastry. I'd like to present the candidates for the master's degree in bioengineering. I'd like to point out that this class includes our very first class of Master of Translational Medicine, an inaugural degree here. So, Philip Chung, Suwong Lim, Chanel Picard, Brooke Thayer, Ramya Chitters, Lucia Chung, Amer Abdullah, Siddharth Satish, Edwin Lee, Jaskaran Sangil, Kathleen Marie Cook, David Reza Lari. Is that all the bioengineers? Is that all the bioengineers? Congratulations to our bioengineering master's degree candidates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree Master of Science from the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences are Wen Chao Li, Nuo Zhang, Erin Chiseng Hong, Daniel Sang Wei, Onur Ergzen, Stephen William Callender, Sudeep Kamath, Adam Jiang, David Matthew Wong, Aditya Kaishap, Michael Schreck, William Lee, Jerry Jiu Zhang, Jason Johnson Seng, Ingrid Loss. Congratulations to all graduates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the Masters of Science in Industrial Engineering and Operations Research are Isabelle Alarcon, Yun Yang, Yuan Peng, Fang Gui, Ray Song, Gary Blotton, Bertrand Jean-Pierre, Mathieu Bonjour,
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree of Master of Science from the Department of Material Science and Engineering are Gangjiang Yi, Joseph Cao, Catherine Cook, Patrick Clancy. My congratulations to all the graduates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degrees Master of Engineering and Master of Science from the Department of Mechanical Engineering are Christopher Michael Chaplin, Michelle Brunn, John Michael Nihus, Darren Kwong, Kevin Ding, Kevin Balway Huang, Andy Chern-Bake, Kengo Suzuki, Mingji Lee, Glenn Blaisdell, Raul Barwani, Kuresh Bakhtavar, Tapan Patel, Kevin Christopher Wynn, Brian Trin, Jennifer Jones, Olivier Cos, Pablo Javier Rosado, Andres Felipe Rosario, Vinay Jaikumar, Alireza Lajani, okay. Amory de Closet, bienvenue. Stephen Jonathan, Eric Hecker, Michael Jishong Yu, Kevin Wirmaharja, Kelly Jang, Albert Lee, Aaron Richard Alpert. Congratulations, graduates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree of Master of Science from the Department of Nuclear Engineering are Agnieszka Sejunka, Lauren Ashley Maris, Lieutenant Junior Grade Select Joseph F. Daniel, United States Navy. Congratulations to the graduates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree of Master of Engineering and Master of Science in the most fantastic and best looking civil and environmental engineering department in the universe. It is true. Yes, thank you for asking. June 2K. Naithik Bhatt. Andrew Matthias Wagner. Will Wynn. Jennifer B. Diggs. Samuel Alfred Anderson. Mark Andrew Weaver. Eric Brian Chin. David June Chang. Margaret Wong. Julie Ann Martin. Grace E. Lee. Munuday Sohi. Tina Kwan. Eric Pan. Milad Oli. Justin Edward Manuel Martinez. Helen Chow. David Leung. Virginia Fan. Tammy Carway Chang. Jonathan Fraser Tai. Stanley Mack. Andrew Koshinsky. Grace Lynn. Nelson Derek Chan. Kevin Lowe. Du Vu Tu. Remy Habfast. Zineb Asapi. Amir Youssef Salah. Henry Yuhin Tong. Kimberly Elizabeth Leong. Janice Wu. Jonathan Brian Bakalu. Reed Barsato Zimmerman. Rafael Alexandre Jato. Alexander Kent Petuski. Jessica Lynn Jones. Clara Nahi. Daniel Scott Wilcoxon. Samuel Lamb. Tin Theodore Denuin. Amy Chow. Xiaowei Wu. John Christian Dio. Ian Curtis Barnes. Varun Kohli. Young Chow. Henry D. Zhu. Benjamin Eugene Baker. Lynn Heel. Joaquin Yosa. Patrick Renee Paul. Ashkan Arami. Hamid Shakaramis. Ali Terrell Fletcher. Kevin Patrick Arnett. Sarp Istanbuloglu. Maggie Raquel Ortiz. Sean Rafan Wade. Matthew Lewandowski. Roma Borquet. Jing Zhuang. Paula Brian Anleu. Jamila Samri. Andrea Christina Vitetti. Lucas Lombard. Konstantinos Theodopoulos. Charbel Mubarak. Pascal Vogt. Megan Allison Lentz. Brad Adams. Ryan Michael Swick. Mark Lipoff. And Connor McCafferty. Naomi A. Norris. Christopher T. Korth. Srinivas Karthe Mohan Athyum. Jungmook Lee. Simson Cayman Choi. Nicholas Sean Devlin. Andrew Christopher Stolte. Anya Elizabeth Steiner. Michael Gu. Madison Kate Alexander. Garrett Harris. Gabriel Jose Alcantar. Alexandra Siulu. Francisca Lopez. Monica Yunhee Wu. Amy Catherine Lin. David John Wirsima. Zachary Tyler Eichenwald. Jan Alexander Nusinevu. Yes? Pardon? Nusinovich. I love these phonetic spellings. They're really fantastic. Hung Ting Shan Chu. Jacob Devlin Wood. Melissa Kristen Wu. Caitlin Lorene Hewitt. Brian David Cooks. Lucy Adriana Croy. James Robert Jackson. Courtney Sarah King. Sarah Faye Price. William Philippe Samu. Sienna Ayimi Day. Landon Keith Graham. Jonathan Avram Sindler. Lou Lee. Rebecca Grace Shirley. Congratulations to all the Master of Science and Master of Engineering graduates.
Are you ready for the main event? The candidates for the bachelor, baccalaureate, all these bright young faces. I'm reading the script here, okay, guys? Down here in the orchestra pit. Okay, we don't need the script. Dean Shankar Shastri, are you ready? I'm ready. Okay.
Okay, are we ready? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts please rise? Wait a minute. We do have 2 degrees conferred in IEOR and ECS in the College of Letters and Sciences, and some of them have elected to join us. So, in my authority as Dean of Engineering at the University of California, Berkeley, I grant you the degree Bachelor of Arts. Please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science please rise? In my authority as Dean of Engineering of the University of California, Berkeley, I grant you the degree of Bachelor of Science. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite you to move the tassel on your cap from the right side to the left. This venerable tradition signifies your new status as a college graduate. Congratulations. Go Bears, and be seated.
Congratulations. Degree certificates will be presented by Dean Shankar Shastri, assisted by Executive Associate Dean Masayoshi Tomizuka. Again, I ask you to hold your applause until all the candidates are introduced. Thank you.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Bioengineering are Simran Singh Girn, Dorothy Tulanan, Shihan Lee, Tu Tao Tran, Angela Shi, Albert Dylan Pang, Regine Malin Labbong, Jordi Silvestra Ryan, Tomoya Saito, Salar Asidian, Jonathan Chang, Pardees Navid, Anwar Al-Zerni, Keith Henry Salvado, Mansi Shah, Hinesh Patel, Mahir Bulwa, Antu Nago, Lloyd Lee, George Kwong, Anshin Modak, Anil Mahabadi, Mihir Pense, Jonathan Wayne Chun, Felix Zhang, Timothy Chen, Manu Malavisada, Eric Johnson, Danielle Bouvet, Clay David Reber, Christopher Kenichi Anthony Richardson, Daniela Mihai, Syed Bozorgi, Kevin Chang, Kevin Pimentel, Michelle Nofal, Trisha Diane Bartlett, Lauren Weisenstein, Jacob Freimer, Chris Tandiono, Navalia Pisesha, Michelle Elizabeth Marcus, our department citation winner, Charles Fong, Zoe Huang, Lily Shu, Joyce Bao, Chi Min Shea, Mimi Lan, Nikit Patel, James Che, Daniel Chen, Chris Fang, Anir Ho, Nathan Lee, Joseph Chung, Jimmy Gao, Nathan Kane, Christopher Andreas Nair, Megan Kathleen Sylvia, Syed Omer Abdulaziz, Kathleen C., Brian Williams, Zhanghua Shin, Hikaru Mameya, King Chung Ho, Walter Calibiso, Niranja Vinkat. Aparna Ramakrishnan. Ashwarya, sorry, Ashwarya. Jaya Gopal. Matthew Wilson Curry. Swetha Ramachandran. Elaine Sue Hu. Joanna Chen. Chiao Hong Tai. Shane Alexander Peralta. Daniel Yang. Eugene Hyun. Richard Nelson Cam. Jason S. Lee. Evan Lee Young. Brian King Dong. Yuan Fong Fu. Elaine Diana Lee. Ari Ashley Takami. Justine Velasco. Alicia Huchu Zhu. Felicia Lin. Ryan Alexander Johnson. Tiffany Win Yin Chan. Eunice Andrea Fu. Joshua Liu. Jason Nee. Barnabas Kaifei Yik. Congratulations to all our Bachelor of Science graduates in bioengineering.
Dean Sastry. The candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science from the most brilliant Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering in the space-time continuum are Alexander Craig Trahan, Matthew J. Czar, who is a recipient of the department citation and a university medal finalist. Nicholas Esquera. Mark Bayan. Spencer Marcinic. Titus Chen. Shea Ching Chang. Noe Leon. Jose Enrique Gonzalez. Josue Enrique Gonzalez. Kei Chi. Garnet A. Wing. Laura Marie Whedon. Raymond Queen. Rolando Giovanni Bermudez. Enrique Tuba. Kevin Huin. Justin Christopher Butel. Kevin Rukshan Rondeni. Renita Amatria. Nilan Ovesi. Armand Rosano Polino Texon. Oliver O'Neill Lorenzo. Bill Chen. Michelle Peters. Teresa Gomez. Justin Shi. Dana Nicole Bolquitas Samuel. Colin John McBurney. Audrey Suyan Chow. Ziran Zhang. Himet Keseye. Jason Yen. Marion Balyu Youth. Ali Haj Ali. Ale Kamenepur. Ransom Hennapour. Sarah Forestieri. Rihanna L. Kernan. Samuel George Vaughn. Clinton Andrew Potter. Okay. William Glassberg. Joshua Reeve Pepper. Joanna Perez. Alberto de Jesus Martinez. Alex Padua Carolino. Oh boy. Alejandro Antonio Joseph Navarette. Uy. Francisco Lozano Jr. Tomas A. Rodriguez. Daniel Sales. Edgar Martinez. Herman Garcia. Christine Montemayor Balasalbas. Tatvik John Velia. Tiffany Tran. Hank Lin. Stuart John Jamant. Jason New. Charles Young Chang. Stephanie Marie Carter. Cindy Lopez. Maribel de Gracia Pabalan. Krista Monique Moita. Ting Ting Chen. Stephen C. Wong. Belinda Lee. Serena Zhu. Tracy Hong. Jeremy Lau. Edmund Derek Tam. Kingsley Raymond Kwong. Stephen K. Wong. Elliot Kwok. Xiaoji Xiao. Brandon Wong. Tara Ann Petzik. Daniel Jason Bearson. David Michael Heilbrunn. Martin Gomez. Philip Garcia Lorenzo. Jenkin Hui. Samantha Vrooman. Rebecca Catherine Lyman. Taylor Rose Funk. Lauren Colette DeVink. Forrest Oliver Cheney. Peter Nicholas Weiss. Tyler Adam Stock. Christopher Kekichev. Anthony Richard Maggio. Andrew Lawrence Kilduff. Tracy Stullard. Erin Ann Mader. Madeline Zeisser. Lindsay Helene Harris. Scott Douglas Cornez. William Joseph Habib.
It's different.
What is, oh boy.
There's no.
Okay. Boying Liu. Siu Yuan Guan. Qian Wen Dang. Mia Nguyen. Jeffrey Luye Zhang. Jinpeng Li. Bairang Yu. Zijun Li. Jajun Li. Yeji Jackson Zhang. Hans Christian. Hi. Daniel Eob. Rohan Batia. Eddie Yao. Brian Kang. Andy Yu. Jorge Victor Cavarrubias. Ronald Patrick Ramos. Oliver Rickard. Nick Austin Lee. Nathaniel Bryce Wagner, with the very small little handwriting, Nathaniel. Bryce Townsend. Hey. Wadud Jondali. Prashay Mehta. Jefferson Lay. Sorry, Lai. Joshua Mahayai. Quentin Lee. Andy H. Chow. Gilbert Kildo Lee. Jerome Aquino Gonzaga. Nice cheering, guys. I love that. Nancy M. Sen.
Bravo.
Congratulations to all the MS and MN students in Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree Bachelors of Science from the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences, the department who dominates not only this but all other possible universes, are Humberto Sacareno Garcia, Stephen Tony, Nima Mostafavi, Vipul Jain, Audrey Baumal Zumalt, Scott Crosure, Elliot Portenfield, Alejandro Montoya, Vuchim Zipeng Shui, Sada Lu, Yang Nguyen, Emmanuel Chao, Eric Lam, Cassidy Lawson Lee, Neil Raj Kumar, Kaushik Mohan ER, Pratik Patel, Anuj Das, Onkar Agarwal, Anud Sampat, Rebecca Ann Lee, Andrew Michael C. Lakshmi Rasimamhu Muralidha. Akshay Kanon. Philip Pusenchao. Pronthik Somol. Matthew William Hunter. Leonid Kesselman. Koruk Chatterjee. Luke Michael Case. Steve Christopher Bajo. Robert William Darty. Ali Gorbani. Dan Liang. Michael Robert Drybelis. Alexander Bolotov. Howell Young. Suhas Guda. Yi Song. James Praying. Thomas Songwon Lim. Clifford Nicholas Angle. Sauraj Banerjee. Tony Fu. Hari Anand. Kevin Sang. Timothy Lu Wong. Michael Yuping Cheng. Byron Minyu Wong. Jeffrey Bear. Alan Sai. Justin Chen. Long Chen. John Sai. Jonathan Michael C. Damarjit Singh Jida. Tol Suprekar. Sean Lee. Wilson Chow. Chao Yang Wang. Ibo Yu. Ryan Luki. Pralinka Reddy. Li Fan Zhang. Tyler Latsky. Kevin Flannery Bracto. Austin Wesley McGee. David Lores Clarino. Joshua Silver. Jonathan Luke. Terrence N. Kevin Irish. Hudong Pham. Hudong Pham. Thank you. Jason Curtis Wu. Sirimring Chowdhury. Boaz Avital. Connor Michael Hughes. Hilfi Alkoff. Justin Thomas Chu. Stephanie Wren. Rohan Kitur Nagesh, Kathy Tang, Hari Aijang, Richard Shia, J.K. Cation, K. Yoon Yol Kevin Lim, Richard Liang Wu, Brian Shuchi Peng, Ryan Fong Mak, Michael Matlub, Eric Lin, Patrick Reiter Horn, Eric Yichuan Chang, Christopher John Wonchowicz, Kenjai Amazonia Bu, Sherban Juboroyu, Anthony Lee, Will Chen, Jason Louis, Didi, Michael Yuang Ma, Maxwell Chang, Edwin Xiao, Niloy Roy, Henry Chu, Charlie Pendar Shu, Danica Hill Chang, Rosalind Ling Mei Lee, Brian James Ocker, Ted Wang, Long Wei, Jia Jubao Ching, Christopher Michael Coleman, Sam Lee, Alex He, Johnny Vintuan Lam, Matthew Tro Duval, Evan Fisher, Kun Hang Lee, Sing Lam Lee, Brian Sang, Yupili Srinivasan Raghudathan, Parth Vivek Shangu, Alexander Borodulin, Brian Ching, Jeffrey Yang, Alex Bishra, Mayer Kari, Daniel David Miranda, Salman Haider Rizvi, Hasham Ali, Karan Dinsa, David Q, Manjay Park,
We should say take a breather. I think
Okay.
up there. We are like,
Random, yeah.
we are,
Shankar can't shake as fast as
Yeah, I know.
Come on, Shankar.
The name is pronounced Sasson.
Sasson. Okay. This is Sasson.
And continuing from the fastest department on the planet, Ming-Shu Chang, Jungwo Min,
Sasson.
Jeremy Brian Sassong, Nicholas Matthew Freoli, Jason Andrew Byers, Matthew Anthony Menendez, Mohammad Samer Alsen, Norman Chan, Bernie Stay, Christy P. Chen, Tony Deng, Eri Damian Weber, Jinhao Yu, James Ide, Marco Kushaman Towner, Daniel Duckworth, Stephen Miller, Kevin Mixu Liu, Sean Ching Tai, Therin G, Sharik Mobin, Shaohan Zhou, James Yu, Calvin Ling, Fong Cheng. Jinshu, thank you, Mom. Oh. Colleen Zhou. Hai Nayan. Nguyen Lee. Hong Tran. Sui Guan. Tianhu Banerjee. Bandera. Rone, the robot, Sapir, Sarig. Yeah, there you go. Eddie Park. Karthik Shinidhar. Nithin Akala. Surag Betugeri. Karthik Jugadish. Faraz Tavakoli. Nazarim Pajum. Farshid Krorashi. Wesley Luli. Ryan Justin Schwarzer. Mulisha Yu. Duncan Chang. Jonathan Liu. John Wong. Kelvin Tran. Nicholas Yu. John Kwon. Nam Lu Nayan. Brisham Singh Valia. Yossi Someha. Ji Hun Kim. Dongwook Kim. Mona Kandan. Jacob David Dixon. Diane Kakulavela. Ibrahim Fatou. Yasra Jikatan. Harsh Shaw. Nupur Goyal. And last but not least, Nicholas Boyd, the recipient of the Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences citation, who is actually working on Monday at the Computer Science Letters and Science ceremony. Congratulations to all graduates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering Science are Wu Li, Carissa Daniels, Jose Maranez, Laura Davis, Andrew Christian Trouts, Jordan Hemingway, Clayton Ernst, John Drozen, David Hall, Farzan Hemati, Angelo Wong, Muhammad Sheikh, Ingrid Mary Bearer, also the departmental citation winner for engineering science, Jason Kong, Michael Chang, Lika Booth, Uchin La, Brandon Giles. Congratulations.
I'm introducing the candidates for Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering and Operations Research, Bachelor of Arts in Operations Research and Management Science. And our great graduates have instructed me to tell you that they will be managing all the engineers and the folks in the other universes. Okay. Brian Shea. Michelle Vu. Oh, no. Catherine Victoria Ramp, Anthony Mohawi, Michelle Leahy, Divya Sharma, Vladimir Alexander Vachenko, Zahin Ali, Ashley Nicole McIntyre, Sati Shu Houston, Sarah Esther Higgins, Majid Ali Khan, Max Santana, Lei Shu, who's the department citation winner, Kevin Lung, Michelle Ann Papilla, Lynn Tran, Jason, part of the plan, woo. Kakin Lung, Juho Lee, Angel Lam, Han Givens, Edmund Chung Ho Lo, Isabella Yamin, Jawan Kim, Alice Catherine Wong, Ji Yang Lu, Clarence Chung, Jackie Lam, David Kairos Park, Stephen Leonard, Idrik Joe Sotana, Arthur Huang, Vincent Hu. Okay, so those were the BS in Industrial Engineering and Operations Research. Here come the BA in Operations Research and Management Science. Gitanjali Johari, Yolanda Feiran Ma, Simon Wu, Raj Arvind Mehta, Hutomo Setyawan, Michelle Wong. Congratulations.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science from the Department of Material Science and Engineering are Michael J. Cohen, Riley Reese, who is our departmental citation winner, Eric Januar, Yuxing Huang, Beiyuing Yuan, Sabrina Chen, Brian Liang, Julian Correa, Justin Kloon, Daniel Yang, James Massandria, Stephen Cipriano, Ryan Duchin, Yu Claw, Stephanie Haddad, Michelle Lee, Jesse Yang, Eric Wu, Eric Shuhu, Neil Prossier, Michael Floyd, and last but not least, Simran Bohill. My congratulations to all the graduates.
Dean Sastry, the candidates for Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering are, first of all, Christopher Ategeka, Omar Abdulhadi, Tristan Antonio Fletcher, Vernon Tyler Dillstrom, Miguel Ano de Gracia, Ricardo Segal, Sarah Marie Thornton, Griselda Cardona, Maha Haji, Cindy Bailey, Daniel Lehrbaum, Jacob Allen Yeager, Benjamin Locke. Slow down a bit. Okay. Burry Lee, Tervis Miller, Gabriella Christine Banks, Timothy Ryan Wise, Samuel Thomas Robinson, David Boom Roasted Olmus, Mikkel Boom Roasted Jane, be his brother, Martin Boom Roasted Kaken, Lee Boom Roasted Weinstein, Christopher Boom Roasted Diamond, Stephen Boom Roasted Liedenham. That's all the Boom Roasteds. Christopher Michael Langel, Christian Andrew Ollinger, Hao Chen, Benson Kai, Michael Derek Quinones, Jesse Cho, Clarissa Victoria Harrison, Kyle Jeffrey Anderson, Kimberly Diane Chang, James Brannon Smith, John Charles Reed, Jennifer Liu, Angelo Miguel Del Mundo, Uzer Kumel Meyer, Jamie Evelyn Young, Andy Hawk, Gina Wang, Randy Lee Malari, Sebastian Felix Roof, Spencer Lynn, Philip Michael Andelson, David Richard Kimber, Brendan Craig Blackwell, Chi Young Lee, Joseph Shin, Alexander Henrik Voprinski. That's not right, Wapniarski. Jeffrey Stephen Kobos, Douglas Fabini, Betsy Brandon McComb, Hillary Siemens, Ian David Layton, Justin Huang, Jonathan Marcello Ibadelet, Justin Borgia, Big Papa, Christopher Alexander Luong, Brandon Jeffrey Reed, John Sehud Kim, Jeffrey Stonerook, Amar Kuthari, Alex Lee, Nicholas James Pastor, Siva Bharadvaj, Alexei Shepelev, Jim Gao, Nathan Kuhn, Nikolai Kalnin, Stephen Joseph La Rosa, Tommy Liu, Jiheng Huar, Dimitri Shapiro, Raman Sreerthan, Phil Minkon Nguyen, Joseph Matlack, Matthew Robert Strangeway, John Alexander Brace Thompson, Matthew Charles Bigham, Evan Chang, Richard Duong, Naoki Theodore Nakata, Randy Chengyun Wu, thank you, Grandma, Derek Liu, Kevin Hu, Rostam Zohar, Sunghu Jion, Marwan Rama, Sodi Osefi, Christopher Michael Schaefer, we take no responsibility, but if it gets on YouTube, we'll take the credit. Who sung Jungle? Jung. Dominic Sculith, Dominic Benton Beard, Brian Grunlow, Daniel Pfaff, Sargam Tagi, Evan Atherton, Melissa Krause, Calvin Fung, Joshua Liu, David Michael Rockford, Nicholas Santarber, Thomas James Emery, Guillaume Marc Laguerre, Chang Hyun Chun, Stephen Minshik Choi, Betty Chu, Ivana Hojong Yi, Danielle Elise Kirchmeier, Eric Allen, William Spate, Scott Michael Davis, Yicheng Zheng, Sean Lee, Kwan Hee Ho, Leonard Pong, Kakun Wan, Ningzheng Young, Min Kat Lau, Keiliang Huang, Lu Huang, our Department Citation Award winner. Congratulations. Chengru Zhang, Hong Yuan Tang, Kyle Devin Edelberg, Robert Wayne Moore, Jeremiah Edward Dickey, Michael DeMan Enciso, Haley Hardman, Anthony Jude Fernando, Manuel Garcia, Ryan Chow, Edwin Wibowo, Enrico Chayono, Benedictus Widodo, Albert Kung, Tu Nguyen, Nicholas Mele, whose father is a professor in civil engineering, so they may be good looking and smart, but their kids come to mechanical engineering. And where's last one, Ching Yong Lee. Congratulations, graduates.
Dean Sastry. The candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science from the Department of Nuclear Engineering are Clarence Vince's dad Montegrande, Dong Duk Hong, Sebastian Albert Dionisio, Adija Pralada Shri Prasad, Jonathan Dojpi Bupol, Joseph Charles Curtis, Department citation winner. Andrew Michael Hernandez, Kevin Charles Terone, Zing Fu, Teresa M. Wilkes, Alexis Chanel Kaplan, Anders Peterson Priest, and Joshua Bui. Congratulations to all the graduates.
Congratulations to our class of 2011. Let's see a wave. A wave. There we go. You are now and forever Berkeley engineers. Alumni of the best university in the world and the best engineering school in the world. Your parents should be proud. I hope as you embark on your career or continue your education, you will remember these years at Berkeley with fondness. And I hope you will come back to share your experiences, impart your knowledge, and be generous donors to the College of Engineering. We encourage you to participate as active alumni. Please stay in touch with each other and with us. This concludes our commencement program. You are all invited to the receptions being held by the departments of the college. The location of each is listed on the first pages of your program. Best wishes to you, and thank you for being part of our celebration today.